Hey everyone, welcome! We're glad you're here. Whether you're a regular or just tuning in for the first time, thanks for joining us and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. So, the United States recently launched an attack to increase its involvement against Iran. But once again, the ball is in Iran's court. Will they come to the negotiating table or meet their enemies on the battlefield? The hope was that this strike would pressure Iran into negotiations. But what happened next was intense. Tehran didn't just respond with words. They essentially declared war. And not just on the United States military. Iran is now targeting American civilians as well. Shortly after the United States attack, Iran launched dozens of missiles at Israel. So what exactly was Iran's immediate response after being bombed by the United States? Let's break down the latest developments. Iran basically declared war, and if anything could move faster than karma, it's this. After reports came out on Sunday about 3 nuclear sites being hit, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard didn't waste time. They declared war and launched more missile strikes on Israeli territory as a form of resistance. As a result, Israel raised its security alert to the highest level. What's even scarier is that now every American, civilian or military, is considered a legitimate target. The Revolutionary Guard isn't being selective anymore. To them, anything and anyone connected to America is the enemy now. An Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson said that US military intervention is a recipe for full-blown war in the region, echoing what Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said, calling the US attack an extremely dangerous move. As for the nuclear sites, an Iranian official told RNA news agency that there were no radioactive materials present during the bombing. According to them, all enriched uranium had already been removed before the attack. So, in Iran's view, the US strike didn't really achieve anything. Meanwhile, Iran hit Israel with 30 rockets. Sirens went off in Tel Aviv, explosions were heard near Jerusalem, and Haifa's air defenses apparently failed to detect the attack. The Israeli Air Force scrambled to intercept the missiles. On the same day the nuclear facilities were hit, Israel also picked up on 2 separate missile waves launched from Iran. The Israeli military said they were actively working to intercept threats and issued another alert about a second wave of missiles about 30 minutes before lifting the warning around 8:10 a.m. According to Israel's Magen David Adom Emergency Service, about 30 missiles were fired at Haifa, Tel Aviv, Biryakov and Nes Ziona. At least 21 people were injured, 4 of them seriously. At the time of this report, rescue efforts were still underway in Tel Aviv, where people were believed to be trapped under rubble. Even though the army claimed sirens didn't go off during the attack, missile fragments were found, and there's an ongoing investigation into a possible malfunction. In a dramatic statement, the Israeli military said, "All Americans are now targets." Iranian leaders had already warned that if the United States got directly involved, they'd respond hard. But now, because of what they called a reckless declaration of war, all Americans are facing serious threats. Early Sunday, Iran's Revolutionary Guard announced that every American, soldier or civilian, in the Middle East is now fair game. That's what Iranian state TV reported, and the news quickly spread across social media. In one video, a TV anchor said the United States no longer has a place in West Asia after violating Iranian airspace. He ended with a direct message to the US President. "Mr. President, you started this. We'll finish it," while footage of US military bases in the Middle East played in the background. Just for context, the United States has several military bases in the region. The largest is Al Udeid in Qatar, plus others in Bahrain, Iraq, southern Syria, Kuwait, and the UAE. Iran has also attacked US bases and shut down the Strait of Hormuz. The US president might have tried to sell the attack on Iran as a military win and even threatened more if Iran didn't immediately back down. But it seems like he underestimated Iran's options, including striking bases or closing the vital strait, something they've been warning about for a long time. Iran could temporarily shut down the Strait of Hormuz with attack boats and thousands of sea mines. Iran has a fleet of fast attack boats and thousands of naval mines that could make the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow mouth of the Persian Gulf, completely impassable, at least for a while. This is a serious threat because about 20% of the world's oil trade flows through that tiny passage, which is only about 33 kilometers wide at its narrowest point. Any disruption there would send global oil prices skyrocketing, hitting American wallets hard and putting international pressure on Washington to agree to a ceasefire. The second option, hitting US military bases in the region. Another likely move for Iran would be to attack US military bases in the region, which are actually closer to Iran than Israel is. And because the US defense systems in these bases are very similar to those used by Israel, systems Iran has already studied, Tehran knows their weaknesses. Being so close means there's very little warning time before Iran could unleash waves of missiles or swarms of armed drones, destroying anything in their path. Iran could also choose to strike major oil and gas facilities in the region. This would drive up energy prices and increase the political and economic cost of American involvement in the war. Plus, Iran has allies in a regional coalition, often referred to as the Axis of Resistance, that includes armed groups across the Middle East. Yes, recent Israeli attacks have weakened Palestinian militias and jihadist groups in Gaza. And last fall's strike on Hezbollah in southern Lebanon killed many of their top leaders and severely damaged their infrastructure, which makes their involvement harder. But even so, Iran still has many groups it can call on for support. If they coordinate, these groups have missiles and drones that could target United States forces and their allies. Some of them operate near the Red Sea, and they've successfully blocked or interfered with American operations before, making them tough opponents. There was a previous agreement not to attack American ships in the Red Sea, but recently, Yahya Sari, an Israeli military spokesperson for the resistance, threatened new strikes if the Trump administration officially joined the Israeli military campaign against Iran. He said in a video statement, "If the United States participates in attacks or aggression against Iran alongside its ally Israel, we will target American troops, warships and vessels in the Red Sea." This statement came before America bombed Iran's nuclear facilities. Trump had warned Iran not to retaliate, saying that even worse consequences were coming if they did. But so far, it seems like Iran isn't paying much attention to what he says. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to S News, leave a like, drop a comment and check out our upcoming videos. We appreciate